Hello, class 12, and welcome to your economics class. I'm your Nigam sir, and today we will continue with the same chapter, that is fiscal policy. This is lesson 2 on this chapter. In this video, we will be studying about the debt redemption and its various methods. Now, what do you mean by debt redemption? Redemption in English means repayment of loans. So, redemption of public debt normally means repayment of the public borrowings that the government has taken. So there are various methods of debt redemption. They are repudiation of debt, refunding, debt conversion, budgetary surplus, terminal annuities, sinking funds, statutory reduction in the rate of interest, capital levy, and lastly, export surplus. Now let us understand all of these methods in detail. The first one is repudiation of debt. Repudiation normally means refusal to pay the debt by the government. Whenever the government repudiates public debt, it does not pay the interest amount as well as the principal amount. And this is done usually because of the financial constraint faced by the government. Normally, the government does not want to repudiate its public debt because it normally loses the confidence of the people on the government. So, this is what is meant by repudiation of debt. The second method is refunding. It is the process by which the government raises the new loans to pay back its old maturing loans. Usually, this method is adopted by the government when it is not able to pay back its outstanding or maturing loans. So, this method normally increases the debt burden of the government as the loans of the government keeps on accumulating. So, this is what is meant by refunding. The third method is the debt conversion. Debt conversion means converting the old loan into a new one. Under this method, the government does not pay the old loan, but here only the form of the old loan is changed into a new one. For example, a high interest loan will be converted into a low interest loan. It may so happen that the government has taken the loan at a time when the market interest rates are high, and gradually if the interest in the market falls down, then the government might also reduce the interest on the old loan that it has taken. So this normally reduces the debt burden of the government. The fourth method is the budgetary surplus. Budgetary surplus means a situation when the revenue of the government is more than its expenditure. In this way, the government generates surplus in the budget. So this budget, sometimes the government uses it to pay the debts of the people. This will reduce the debt liability of the government gradually. The fifth method is the terminal annuities. Annuities out here means the annual payments that is made by the government. Under this method, the government pay its debt in equal installment, which include interest as well as the principal amount of debt. Here, the debt burden is reduced every year by the government in installment. So this is what is known by as terminal annuities. The sixth method is the sinking fund. So sometimes the government also keeps a separate fund known as sinking fund for the repayment of its loan. So the government deposits a certain amount of money every year in order to pay back its outstanding loan. So this method is known as sinking fund. The seventh method is the statutory reduction in the rate of interest. So sometimes what government does is that the government takes a statutory decision to reduce the rate of interest that is payable on all the debts taken by the government. So here the creditors are the one who have given given loans to the government are forced to accept the reduced rate of interest because of the legal power that is vested by the government on them. So this policy is normally not used by the government, but it is used at a time when the government faces financial crisis, for example, war. So this is what is known as statutory reduction in the rate of interest. The eighth method is the capital levy. Capital levy refers to the imposition of heavy taxes on the wealth and the property of the rich people of the society. It is just like a wealth tax as it is imposed on the capital assets of the rich people. It is imposed on the progressive scale on the rich people. It is a quick and equitable method of debt redemption. It is suitable in case of abnormal situations like war. So this is what is meant by capital levy, that is imposition of heavy taxes on the rich people on their properties so that more of the revenue can be generated through taxes which can be used for the repayment of the loans of the people. Lastly, we have the export surplus. Whatever method that we have done earlier before this were the method to pay the internal debt, that is the debt within the country. So sometimes the government also takes loans from the outsiders which has to be paid in the foreign currency. So these loans are usually paid by the government whenever the government generates surplus in the foreign trade. That is, whenever the export is more than the import, then obviously there will be more revenue for the government. So that revenue is utilized by the government to pay back its external debt. Understood? So these were the different methods of debt redemption